Hello everyone, welcome back to iRacing, and we're returning to the Formula iR-04 series today. Now, we've had a few crazy races in this championship already this season, but this might just be the craziest yet. We're well down the order in qualifying. We can only manage 15th with a time of 1:30.5. Now, that's around 2 seconds slower than the front runners in this race, so we're going to be up against it from the off here. But if there's one thing that we've learned from the previous rounds, it's that there's going to be crashes. So as long as we keep it steady, as long as we keep it on track, there are places to be gained. So let's get down to the grid. The lights are going green. We've been given an inside grid position, which I'm quite relieved about. I much prefer to be on the inside into Redgate T1 here at Donington, because there's less chance of cars sliding into your path. So we're going to take it very easy here. There we can see already 2 cars sliding into the gravel. There's more chaos behind, another 2 cars coming together there. So 1 corner into the race, we've already lost 4 drivers. I suspect that's given us 2 positions. And as we weave our way down the crater curves for the first time, we've got to anticipate the potential for mayhem in the old hairpin, and that's exactly what happened. There was a lock up there, 2 cars involved. Fortunately, we sensed the danger in advance. We eased right off before entering that corner. That gave us a tighter line and also gave us the space to get around safely. Veloso, however, wasn't so lucky. He was looking for the wider sweeping line around the outside to take the position of us, but he got caught right up in that. So we were able to hold on to that position and also gain at least 1 more. And there's another position gain because Andreas Arnholm has lost it coming out of Koppis. It's been an absolutely chaotic first lap. I've got no idea at all what position we're in. I'm sure we've lost 4 drivers in front of us. So that could mean that we're as high as 11th, but we certainly can't relax because we've got Veloso right behind us. He did have a cheeky little look up the inside into the S's. Thankfully, he thought better of it, but as we reach the Melbourne hairpin for the first time, I'm just a bit late on the brakes. We missed the apex. That has allowed Veloso to get alongside me. However, we will have the inside line for this final turn, but it's a blind apex at the best of times. Really hard to find it, particularly when you're on the inside. We have found it, but we've still got Veloso right alongside us as we charge down to finish lap 1. And there's confirmation that we are in 11th position, but we're not going to be there for long because Veloso's still got the inside into Redgate. There's nothing we can do about that now. We're right offline. In fact, we might lose another position. Boris Rink has come through up the inside as well. And now we've got Ballas Vizzy trying to pull alongside with 2 wide coming through the crater curves. Vizzy on the inside. He's surely not going to get that stopped into the old hairpin. Sure enough, he's out onto the grass, so we're able to get that position right back. However, that tussle has allowed Enzo Garassi now to close right in. He's challenging behind. And as we come into McLean's, Boris Rink is sideways. We just managed to avoid him. There's another car facing backwards. And that was Stefan Le Guen. He was the pole position man and race leader. They're dropping like flies here at Donington Park. Once again, I've got no idea what position we're in. All I do know is we're being harried and harassed by Enzo Garassi. Garassi's going to have a look up the inside into the S's. Oh, this is going to be tight. We're going to have to give Garassi the space he needs to get through the S's safely. The last thing we wanted to do there was go through 2 wide. So we have surrendered 1 position, but we might get it right back because Brent Dwyer is well off the pace and he's all offline going into the Melbourne loop as well. He must have come to grief on that downhill slope towards the hairpin, Dwyer, because he was in 4th position. He certainly isn't now, but we must be on the fringes of the top 10. Dwyer locking up again. He's well wide on the exit of Goddard's. That's surely going to give us the drive to get alongside and past. And as we finish lap 2, we're back into 11th. Well, I was beginning to wonder if we'd ever get a break in the action to be able to come back and look at some of the highlights from those first couple of laps. But let's see what happened to some of these drivers in front of us. We'll start at the very beginning of the race. Turn 1. Keep your eye on that light blue number 5 car. Mark Millward getting all tangled up with Enzo Garassi. And right behind that and right alongside us, there's an almost identical incident. This time, it's Javier Antequera and Cameron Samuna. Then, at the old hairpin, Boris Rink gets incredibly lucky to keep it facing in the same direction after clashing with Andreas Arnholm. Arnholm wasn't so lucky. A couple of corners later, he span out at Koppis. Lap 2 then, and Ballas Vizzy tries this ambitious move up the inside into the old hairpin. He runs out of tarmac. He's out onto the grass. That gives us the position back. But we still had to be alert because the very next corner, Boris Rink spins right in front of us. That's how close we came to getting collected. But that tricky McLean's corner is clearly troubling everyone, even the best of them. That's our race leader, Stefan Le Guen, getting it all wrong. And then after the S's, we wondered what happened to Brent Dwyer. Well, he didn't get involved in a crash. It looks like he must have been serving a slowdown. Oh, we've just run it a little bit too hot into McLean's there, and we got dangerously close to that grass on the outside. We had no choice but to lift to keep the car on track, and that has allowed Brent Dwyer to get up the inside. He's not going to need a second invitation to take that position back. And we're also going to come under pressure now from Julio Compagnoni, because he is right behind now, right on our tail into the S's. As long as we can hold the position through here, I'll be relieved, and we have done. Actually, we've gone through a bit quicker than Compagnoni, so we've got a little bit of breathing room behind.
You got a slow car on the right.
There might be another place up for grabs ahead, because the yellow flags are out. Where's the instant? Oh, there he is. That's Martin Reeves on the grass to the left. He was in 4th position, so he's had a disaster. And I think that promotes us back up to 11th place. We lost 11th when Dwyer got past us earlier in the lap. But yeah, that has put us back in to 11th position as we cross the line to finish lap 3. Dwyer beginning to open up a little bit of a gap now ahead in 10th. He's 0.9 of a second clear, but the yellow flags are out. We've lost someone else in Redgate. Oh, there's almost a collision. But we both get past that spun driver, Ryan Williams, and that's me up to 10th. So some more positions gained then, thanks to other drivers' misfortune, starting with Martin Reeves, just lighting up the rear on the exit of the hairpin. Then into Redgate, this is the driver in 2nd position, Ryan Williams, running it out way too wide, sliding into the gravel. That gave us 10th, and then a few corners later we were able to pick up 9th when Julian Kunkel spun out at McLean's. Yeah, that crash from Kunkel was an added bonus, because not only were we in the top 10, we were also up to 9th, crossing the line to start lap 5. We get confirmation that we're in 9th, but it's not going to last, because Compagnoni, who's looked menacing for a couple of laps now, finally decides to make the move up the inside into Redgate. So that's Compagnoni up to 9th. We're down to 10th, but both of us closing in on George Sheram, who was in 2nd position. Now he's right in front of us, and it's because of this. Yet another victim of clipping that grass on the outside and spinning out.
Slow car ahead.
Oh, and it looks like we've lost another driver in the hairpin, and it's Bryn Dwyer. Dwyer, who pulled away from us, has now thrown it all away again. And yep, it was exactly the same mistake, just getting on the gas a little bit too soon out of the hairpin, and that's Dwyer spinning out of 7th. We're going to jump forward a little bit now and rejoin the live action on lap 9. We've actually had a fairly quiet few laps after regaining that 9th position following Dwyer's spin. However, I could see in my rear view mirror Ballas Vizzy methodically closing the gap. He's now right with us. Now we know that Vizzy is faster than us, however he has also dragged along Brent Dwyer into the fight as well, so I'm hoping that these two guys are going to start battling each other. We've switched the TV cam on in the top right. Let's keep an eye on that battle. If it was just Vizzy on his own, I'd suspect that we'd be losing this 9th position fairly sharply, but he's got other things to think about at the moment. Dwyer having a look up the inside into Goddard. He wasn't quite able to make the pass stick, but he's right in the draft. Now he's going to pull out to the inside. Dwyer is going to have the inside line into Redgate. I suspect he's going to take this 10th position here. Yeah, there's nothing that Vizzy can do about it, although he's going to try and run alongside. Oh, and he gets ever so close to that gravel on the outside. That could have spelled disaster. But as things stand, we're working our way down the crater curves. It's Dwyer in 10th. Vizzy down to 11th. Will Vizzy have a look up the inside into the old hairpin? He tried it with me earlier in the race. It didn't work. But for now, it looks like he's settled to sitting behind Dwyer, and it's worked perfectly for me because it's given us a little bit of breathing room. So now we can concentrate back on our race, and we say concentrate, but we've made a huge error coming into McLean's. What an absolute disaster. We've got to try and get the car back onto the track without spinning again, but we've lost loads of positions. Well, what a time to make a stupid mistake like that. It looks like we're down to 16th. Yeah, I was absolutely raging with myself after making this mistake, just clipping the gravel on the outside, and from then on we were passenger losing no fewer than 7 places with 3 laps of the race to go. Oh, I'm so cross with myself for making that mistake. We were looking really good for a top 10, but that's almost an impossibility now, though we will get 1 place back almost straight away. Yeah, that was Luke Cincotta on the grass. He's on the outside here, and it's actually the 2 cars in front of him going into the S's that get all tangled up. Cincotta's going to make a move up the inside, but then He's going to lock wheels with Eric Fisher, and that will spell disaster. Well, it's still a 4-second gap to that pack of cars ahead, and we're running out of time to do anything about it here, so we've got to rely on a few crashes ahead, and we might get Ulwish with one, and in fact it's Ballas Vizzy. So that has promoted us to 14th, but it might not be for long because Vizzy's rejoined right behind. Yeah, Vizzy was running in 8th position at this point, but he just carried too much speed into Coppice. The rear steps out, sends him out onto the grass. Lap 12 now, there's only 2 to go after this one, and we might get another gift because there's a red car in the tyre wall and another one rejoining, so that is going to put us from 14th up to 12th. I didn't even see who it was who was in the tyre wall, but it was Compagnoni rejoining. He was in 4th position. Yeah, Compagnoni made exactly the same mistake as I did, just ran it in a bit too hard and clipped that gravel on the outside, and the other driver we lost was Martin Reeves after getting tangled up with Bren Dwyer.
Car stopped ahead, car stopped ahead, car stopped ahead, car stopped ahead.
But what on earth has happened into Goddard's? Crew chief was having a meltdown there. It did spook me a little bit, and that allowed Vizzy to get right close behind. In fact, there might have even been a little bit of contact. Not enough for any instant points, thankfully, but there is a big group of cars ahead now, and they're a lot closer than they were. In fact, one of them is in the gravel. That's Eric Fisher. He's crashed out at Redgate, and we are going to take his 11th position. Well, we wondered what caused crew chief to go into meltdown on that final turn, and it was this clash between the number 4 of George Geram and Eric Fisher. They're both locked together, and that's what causes the pack of cars to bunch so closely together all of a sudden. The battle then continued all the way down the straight until Fisher was dispatched into the dirt at T1. Well, incredibly, we're up to 11th position, and we're less than 2 seconds now behind the driver in 10th, George Geram. We've got 1 lap to go after this one. Is there enough time, or will there be another catastrophe ahead that lets us into the top 10? But for now, we've got to concentrate on one thing and one thing only, and that is what's going on right behind us. Ballas Vizzy is right on our tail. We're actually a little bit quicker than him through the S's, so we're going to gain a valuable few tenths through there. That will give us a little bit of breathing room, but it'll only be a temporary respite because Vizzy is quick. Out of the Melbourne hairpin, that is 1.6 seconds to Geram ahead. It's only 0.4 of a second to Vizzy behind. But it sounds like there's been another incident into Goddard's. Are we going to get our wishes come true? Yes, we are. We're going to get back up into 10th position. That was Cameron Sabuda, who's crashed out of 6th. The white flags are out. We've got 1 lap to go, and unbelievably, we are in 10th place. We might still have a hope of a top 10 finish yet, but Ballas Vizzy is going to have something to say about that. He's right on our tail as we come through the Crater curves for the last time. Oh, we're going to have to brace ourselves for an attack at some point. Is he going to have a look up the inside into the old hairpin? He's done it before. He's not close enough this time. He has got a much faster exit by the looks of it, though. He's going to pull to the outside, so we're going to have to stay on the inside. This line isn't going to be easy to defend as we come up to McLean's. Oh, there's contact from behind. Vizzy's gone. I don't know how we managed to hold it. Bren Dwyer's also gone. That's what brought the yellow flags out. Dear me, what else can happen in this race? We're now up to 9th position. We'll have to go back and check out a replay of what happened at the end of this race. That yellow flag came out. It did spook me. I might have just broke a little bit earlier than I needed to. Going into McLean's there, and Vizzy ran right into the back of me. Thankfully, he's rejoined. But we've got 2 corners to try and hold on to this 9th position from Bren Dwyer. He's going to make a move up the inside into the hairpin. Surely he's going to run it deep. We might be able to tuck it back up the inside. We're side by side on the exit of the hairpin. It's a drag race to the final turn. Dwyer's going to have the advantage. He's got the inside line. Our only hope is if he runs in deep. Can we tuck it back up the inside again? No, we can't. So 9th was a step too far, but we've managed to get a top 10 position and an iRating boost. Oh, what a race. I really thought we were dead and buried after that crash at McLean's on lap 10, but somehow we've rescued it. So let's try and get our heads around what actually happened on that last lap. It all started with Cameron Sabuda spinning out. That's what gave us 10th position. Oh, and it looked like there was a little bit of contact there from the number 7. That's Stefan Le Guin, who we saw crash out of the lead in the early stages. That put him into the wall there. He's lost a wheel, and somehow Le Guin is going to bring that car home for 1 whole lap on 3 wheels. Meanwhile, we had our hands full with Vizzy, and this is the moment of contact coming up to McLean's. The yellow flags are just about to come out, and when they do, I lock up just momentarily there. And Vizzy's got nowhere to go. He runs into the back of me, spins out on someone else, went as well. And in addition to that, we also lost Dwyer, making the same mistake as I did, clipping that patch of gravel on the outside. However, Dwyer was able to rejoin and then challenged me back into the hairpin. He ran a little bit wide there, so I tried my very best to get a better drive out of the turn and alongside, but unfortunately, being on the outside into Goddard's, the odds were always against us. We were relying on another mistake from Dwyer and it didn't come. We've got to settle for 10th place. Well, what a race. I can't believe we've made the top 10 there when we crashed out and dropped down to 16th with just a few laps to go. I thought we'd blown it. And I'm also really happy to see Ballas Vizzy recover to take 11th place right behind me. I felt really bad for that contact in McLean's on the last lap, but I'm pleased to see that he was able to recover without losing any more positions. So what a way to end the racing week in iRacing. I do hope you've enjoyed watching it, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Cheers.